Hello, Algebra 2 Honors. This is our first day of review for the midterm. The first topic we're covering is parent functions. Just a quick go over. I do not have the picture, so we'll just talk about what the shape of each one looks like. Square root function is a line that goes up and to the right. Looks like this. So make sure you look at your sheet. It should be G. Rational function. Looks like this, going down two separate sections. On yours, this was rational. This is B. Quadratic, we should all know is a U. This was C. Absolute value was F. It is a V. I remember V for value is like the shape of the graph. Cube root was D. It looks kind of like an S. Looks a lot like the square root, although it has a second part to it going down and to the left. And finally, cubic. Quadratic, but half of it has been flipped down. This was E. Okay, make sure you know all these. There's not much I can tell you other than memorizing all 7 of the graphs. The one that was not one of our selection was exponential. Exponential looks like this, approaching up. This is exponential. Okay, so make sure you know all 7 of these. You have a question that's just like this matching on your midterm. Okay, the second topic is complex numbers. Now there are 3 really important things you need to remember. You are allowed to add a real plus a real. This is good. You are allowed to add an imaginary plus an imaginary. This is also good. The no-no is you can never add a real and an imaginary. This is bad. Never, ever, ever do this. No. Our definition and something you should always be looking for is if you ever have an I squared in your problem, whether you're adding, subtracting, or multiplying, or dividing, you need to make sure you change it to a -1. I squared equals -1. Okay? So when we're looking at this first multiple choice question, which is just like your midterm, we have an I squared. So I'm going to rewrite this and replace the I squared with a -1. -3 plus 25I minus 4 times -1 instead of I squared minus 3I. Okay, so simplifying, -4 times -1 is a +4, so -3 plus 25I plus 4I minus 3I. Okay. Now, looking at, oh, sorry, not 4I. It is gone now. It's just +4. Now that I'm looking at this, I know I am allowed to add my reals together. I have a real -3 and a real +4. And I'm allowed to add my imaginaries. +25I and -3I. Okay, we're just adding like terms. -3 and 4 is 1. 25 and -3 give me +22I. We always go real first and then imaginary. This right here is B. That is our answer. Okay. Reals can be added, imaginaries can be added. Never add real and imaginary. I squared is -1. Remember those facts and you'll do just fine. Your second is a dividing problem. Okay, so you are simplifying and you are never, ever, ever allowed to have I in the denominator. The big word you need to know for this is since there are 2 terms in the denominator, you must know what the conjugate is. The conjugate lets us get rid of I's in the denominator when it is a binomial, 2 terms. Okay? In math, this means A plus BI is the conjugate of A minus BI. Okay, these go back and forth. If there's a minus in between, put a plus instead. If there's a plus in between, put a minus instead. So we're going to multiply this by 4 minus 5I. These are the conjugates, 4 minus 5I. Okay, we're multiplying. So on the top, I have a complex number times another complex number, 2 term times 2 term. So I need to do the box method. Okay, so we draw our box. 6 and -3I go on our top, or on the side, up to you. And 4 and -5I go on the side. Remember, I have to do the full box for the top. Those are not conjugates. I cannot take the shortcuts. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times negative 3i is negative 12i. 6 times negative 5i is negative 30i. And negative 5i times negative 3i, this is the tricky box, is 15i squared. This I squared is just a negative 1, so this is going to make my term negative 15. Okay? If I went too fast, just pause the video, do those, think about them. I'm just multiplying, making sure to bring my i's with. And when I multiply I and I together, I get I squared. So I'm going to add together my real terms. This is real. This is real. 24 and 15 is 9. Negative 30i and negative 12i give me negative 42i. This is going to be the numerator, my new top. 9 minus 42i. That all came from the box. On the bottom, I could do a box method. But because these are conjugates, there's actually a shortcut. I can multiply the first terms and then multiply the last terms. I get to skip 2 of my multiplications. So 4 times 4 is 16. 5i times negative 5i would be negative 25i squared. But the I squared flips the sign to positive 25. So I'll have plus 25 on the bottom. I'll show you that with the box. Now you can do the full box method. But remember, it is not mandatory. You do get to take the shortcut. My screen's getting a little laggy. 4 and 5i. And then we have 4 and negative 5i. 4 times 4 gives me the 16. And like we saw before, negative 5i and 5i will be 25i. Now these two boxes, you'll see I have 4 times 5i is 20i. And 4 times negative 5i is negative 20i. Now you'll see that these boxes are just canceling each other out. So that's why we get to take that shortcut where we just do 4 times 4 and negative 5i times positive 5i. So our final answer after adding the denominator is 9 plus 42i over 16 and 25 gives us 41. Okay, so this right here is my final answer. And that is it. These are exactly the 2 problems you will see on your midterm.